He goes, "You gotta look under the car before you, like, unlock it and get in." And I'm like,
I
"Why?"
always thought it was the back seat.
He said, "Someone could be under the car." He goes, "They're gonna cut your Achilles, you're gonna go straight down." And I was like, I literally go, "I'm 8."
Strangers with Kittens. Gen X stories from the least parented generation.
Hi, I'm Eileen Kelly. Welcome to Strangers with Kittens. I'm so glad you're here because today I'm interviewing the very funny Becky Veduccio. She's a comedian, an award-winning writer, a comedy teacher, and my favorite of all her titles, Joke Fluffer. She's a Gen Xer and a mom, and we met years ago performing stand-up, and then kind of lost touch and have just recently reconnected. So I'm excited to connect with her some more, and I'm really excited that you're here to join us.
The countdown of it all.
The countdown. Hello.
Hello,
I'm so
Eileen.
happy to see your face finally. We've been trying to make this happen for a while.
For so long. I'm so
For
happy to
so
see
long.
you.
Well, you're worth the wait. I'm excited.
We'll see, we just started.
How are you, Becky Veduccio?
I don't even know. I'm so tired. I don't
Are
sleep.
you?
That's my new thing.
Yeah, I
I
feel
used to
that.
be so good at it. Do you have a problem sleeping?
I have a problem sleeping. I've been sick this week. I really don't need it anymore, but I'm still drinking Mucinex nighttime from the bottle because it just knocks you out. I'm like, I'm still a little congested, just so I can just so I can justify being like glug glug glug.
I know, the Benadryl and the NyQuil. I know, it works.
Well, apparently the Benadryl gives you like senility, early senility or something, right? They came
Does
out with.
it?
Yeah, like Ixnay on the Benadryl Bay. It's like, and I was taking that every night during COVID
Okay. So,
just to shut the anxiety switch off.
if you get addicted to Mucinex, that'll be a very sad thing.
I can see so clearly.
Hey, did you guys see Eileen at Whole Foods?
Glug glug glug. It's good stuff.
So I'm
One more
so
night.
tell me
I might give it one more night, and then I'm gonna put it on the shelf for the next cold.
just that's what all the addicts say, one more time.
Yeah, right?
One more hit.
One more. I can control it.
Tell me,
Yeah.
I know you told me this before, but what remind me of the Strangers with Kittens, name.
Oh, uh, yeah, so it's actually a story from my life, from a manuscript that I've written, and now I'm putting out in the world to sell. And it's, the Gen X rite of passage of being lured by a child molester with kittens. It's very literal. Yeah.
Oh,
So I feel like that happened to so many people. When I tell this story, I talk about how we grew up watching film strips of Stranger Danger.
yes.
Like I don't know about you, but like we watched a film strip called Patch the Pony, and Patch the Pony says "Nay, nay" from strangers, stay away.
Oh,
And but Patch the Pony had a very specific situation that you needed to be aware of, and it was a guy in like in like a Lincoln Continental. It was all very shadowy, and it was all just sketch, but it was like a guy in a Lincoln Continental with like a gangster hat is going to like open up his car door and offer you a candy bar. Do not take it. So I was like, Lincoln Continental candy bar, got it. But nobody was like, somebody might say they have kittens that are lost and they need your help. Like no one ever said to Gen X, adults don't ask kids for help. Like that is the thing that I pounded into my kids' heads.
me too.
Yeah, since they could understand. I'm like, and I would put them as like, I would try to like quiz them. I'm like, what if I'd come up with like all different situations. Like, what if someone was just driving down the street and they were like, where's Forest Avenue?
Mhm.
And they were like, because like they knew where it was. And I was like, adults do not ask children for help. do you
Yeah.
drive a car? And they were like, no. I'm like, why would they ask you? And they were like, oh, yeah. Like I would just try to come up with different scenarios so that they knew that it just doesn't make any sense no matter what,
Yeah. My
But
daughter's
we were
like,
never told
grown
that.
grown men should not be asking you a question. If they're asking you
Anything.
a question, even if they don't mean anything bad by it, they're so dumb. Like, you don't go up to a teenage girl if you are 40 years old and ask her anything,
Right.
especially at night. Like, choose someone else. You have
No,
Google.
and I know exactly. And I know that men sometimes don't think of it. Like I've had to remind my husband, like y- you're you're being a creep right now. Like that's like don't talk to her. Don't,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
don't say some like little chuckly comment that you think is entertaining because
yeah,
you're just a creep. And he's like, oh my God, you're right. Like just doesn't realize how I'm like, you're a 6'1", like 200 something pound man. And she's a 18-year-old girl or whatever. Like, no,
just no. Just no. I
just
know. My
no.
husband would be like, "Is that Ava?" Like their friend, and I'm like, "Just don't yell out
Just
your car."
mind your biscuits.
Yes, I actually, and I don't mean to brag, but I saw 3 adult male penises by the time I was 13 that I did
Wow.
not ask to see. And all 3 of them, and maybe I should have watched your pony show, all 3 of them were when I was walking to my friend Tina's house and a car pulled up next to me and rolled down the window and it was just there.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
God.
like it 3, 3.
3. Oh
Yeah,
my God. That is horrifying. And
horrifying.
yet, it's horrifying and yet almost par for the course for Gen X women. Like,
That
I don't know anyone our age who doesn't have more than one story of something like that or worse, you
Yeah,
know?
and my grandfather was a policeman, and he scared the shit out of me. He told me stories I didn't even know. I remember this one thing in particular he'd tell me about, he'd warn me about, and he's like, "All right, when you go to your car at night," he goes, "you gotta look under the car before you, like, unlock it and get in." And I'm like,
I
"Why?"
always thought it was the back seat.
He said, "Someone could be under the car." He goes, "They're gonna cut your Achilles, you're gonna go straight down." And I was like, I literally go, "I'm 8." I was like, "Why are you telling me this? I'm 8 years old."
For
Like,
real.
he told us so many scary things that and I'm like, "How do these people even think of this?"
Right.
But he scared us a lot, like, you can't nothing good happens after
Oh
midnight.
my God.
Yeah, and so I was super careful. I felt like I was very alert and aware and afraid all the time, and then I was like, "Oh my god," like, these guys would pull up. And
Yeah, you have the inside information on psychos and you still were not safe.
yeah, yeah,
Unreal.
unreal.
Oh my God. It's so tough. It's such a hard job because you want to help people, but then all this stuff has to live in your brain for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah, and he never told us stories about stuff. He didn't wanna talk about it, but he just
Yeah.
instilled fear in us, and he wouldn't let us go anywhere. That's what was interesting. It was like, keep them home, keep them safe, keep them close, keep them safe." So, like, all my friends would go. I was, Italian family, all my friends would go to camp over in the summer. He's like, "You don't wanna go to camp." He's like, "Oh, that's crazy people." And I'm like, "What?" And then he would tell me the food was gonna be bad, and I was like, "Well, I don't wanna go to camp." He's like, "Stay." He goes, I remember one summer he was like, "Stay here with me, I'll let you drive the Cadillac, we'll go get donuts." And I was like, "Okay."
Camp, donuts in the Cadillac.
Yeah, I was driving a
Oh
powder
my
blue
God.
Cadillac, eating donuts with my grandfather.
It's Italian day camp.
Yeah, and at night, I would sleep over their house, and this is why I think I ended up doing comedy. I would sleep over their house, and my grandfather would come and get me after my grandmother went to bed, and he'd be like, "Come on downstairs," and we would eat cold spaghetti out of little bowls and watch, Carson, Benny Hill, Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers, like, all these.
Oh my God.
And I was watching Benny Hill when I was really little, and he would be, like, laughing at all these comedians, and he would
And
laugh.
all these inappropriate jokes.
It's like, why is this old man
You're like,
in the
why is this
park
funny?
looking at boobies? There's so many boobies, and why do you think boobies are funny? But it was just
Right.
it was just like that's what I would do all summer. I just slept at my grandparents' house and and ate.
And went to comedy boot camp, apparently.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I love that. I actually used to sneak down, and the stairs there was a wall on one side of our stairs, and on the other side of the wall was this little our little TV room, and if I sat at the bottom of the stairs, I was hidden from my parents, and I could watch late night without them knowing, although I did get caught a couple of times, and my parents were pretty strict, and it was pretty terrifying, but I was in, like, 1st grade, and I would sneak down to watch the comedians, and sometimes nobody would be up, and I would just sneak down and turn the TV on and sit really close to it so I could control the
Yeah,
volume
yeah, yeah.
with, like, my knees in my nightgown to watch
Yeah.
Phyllis Diller. I just thought
Yeah.
she was, like, the greatest.
I remember watching Carson in those shows, and when people would say, like, "What do you wanna be when you grow up?" I was like, "I wanna be on Johnny Carson," and they'd be like, "But what do you wanna be to be on Johnny Carson?" I thought it was like a job to be
Yeah,
in the shows. I was like, "I just wanna be a guest on the shows."
right.
And here I
Yeah.
am, a guest on
And here you are, guest on a show. I'm no Carson, but I mean,
I manifested this.
I'm so glad. And I used to watch it thinking just being so mystified and enchanted by it all. I loved Letterman so much and
Yeah.
just feeling like these are my people, but never thinking, how do I do that? Or that's a viable option.
Yeah,
Just like I want to live in I just want to be here right now and for as long as I can.
yeah,
That's all I like even as an adult, I didn't think of it as an option. I just
yeah,
thought I'm pretty good at public speaking and I like writing, so I guess I'll be a lawyer. Like that's what I intended to do. And then I
right.
took some law classes in undergrad and I was like, this is terrible. I think I
Everyone
would have liked it, but it was like business law and
Mhm.
I wanted to gouge out my own eyes. So I didn't pursue it, but I couldn't think of like, oh, I should go to I don't know, like an Emerson college or
Yeah.
it wasn't even in my consciousness,
It was not encouraged to be creative or,
especially
like
as a woman.
no. Every time I mean, I remember one of the shows in the '80s that used to get me, I was like, "I wanna do it." Do you remember the bloopers shows?
Yes.
I used to watch it and go, I felt so much envy for these I was like, "I wanna do that," and people would be that's what was so funny. I didn't know what it was I wanted to do, but I would see that or, like, being a guest on a show or see Carol Burnett in sketches, and I would be like,
Yes.
"I wanna do that," and they're like, "Be an actress?" I'm like, "I don't think so. I'm not sure what it is," but there was something about that camaraderie and the humor, and what I
And the
also
live element too,
Yeah,
like hearing the audience and seeing the actors sometimes break and like that versus like the Brady Bunch or something. Like
yeah,
I was never like, oh, I want to be on a TV show. I never felt that way. It was just
yeah,
like, I want to be with that audience.
yeah. Was it Harvey Korman on
Yes.
and
And
when
Tim
they
Conway.
Yes, and their connection,
Yeah. Their chemistry together was magic.
I was like, "I
And it
will"
was just so funny, like, Tim Conway could make Harvey Korman and just lose it. Like,
Yeah,
I'll never forget the slow fall. He went up
on
it
the
was just like a
stairs?
physical gag, yeah, and he fell really, really slowly, and
Yeah,
Harvey Korman could not hold it together, and then Carol Burnett couldn't hold it together either. It
yeah.
was so silly, but it was just so fun.
It was that was those are my favorite moments, and here's the other thing that interested me. So I admired my grandfather who was, like, pretty stoic about stuff and like I said, a policeman and very overprotective, and the only time I ever saw him laugh, he'd laugh at at, like Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett and Phyllis Diller, and I saw him laugh, and I thought, "He admires these women." And these women aren't trying to be really pretty, even though they were.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
they're not trying to be attractive. It's okay to be silly as a woman and not try to. Because I remember, like, all the women in my life trying to be so attractive all
Perfect.
the time, and I'm like, "I'm
Mhm.
not attractive." I was like a 12-year-old chubby Italian girl with acne and a mustache, and I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna be that. So, maybe I can be like the funny, like wacky, and I think
Totally. And I was like an emaciated asthmatic with a giant head. And
we could
and
have been
I too
friends.
was like, all right, what are my options here?
Yeah, like, I looked around at my friends and I'm like, "I better get a personality." Like, I better get something funny, and I was telling, someone this the other day. I remember 'cause so everyone's always like, "Ooh, were you always funny?" I'm like, "No, I was always weird looking, so I had to find a way to get." I was invisible. So I remember
Mhm.
either I was invisible or being bullied. And I
Mm.
remember it was like ninth grade, and I remember exactly where I was in the hallway, and this group of guys, the same group of guys, like these are teenagers, and they were making fun of my boobs for being big, and
Mhm.
that I was kind of big. I mean, I wasn't huge, but I was just like not
It was
comfortable.
the 80s, so if you weren't like rail thin,
Yeah. Oh, people would be like, my mother used to be like, you look a little fat, you look a little big
it
boned.
was so demented.
I'm
It
like,
was so demented.
big boned. I was like, what am I gonna do? Do you shave bones down?
Yeah,
Like, how am I gonna
do I
cure this?
grate my elbows? What do I do?
How do you cure that? I was like,
Right.
so I remember this guy, he was calling me Big Mac, like something about Big Mac. And I don't remember what I said, which is interesting to me that I don't remember what I said, but I remember zinging him back. I just couldn't take it anymore, and I never said anything back. And I zinged him back in front of his friends, and all of the friends were like, "Whoa!" And they died laughing at him instead of me.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
remember thinking, "Wow,
What a moment. Yes.
powerful."
Power.
The things I'm saying can be powerful if I'm funny about it, and I remember
Yep.
thinking, maybe that's like, I gotta get some jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of comedians and I remember the exact moment too when school moment, which was in 4th grade after I was sick a lot as a kid. My mother was a chain smoker. My dad was also a pack a day. She was 2 packs a day of Red Pall Malls with no filter.
Yeah,
And I was an asthmatic, so it wasn't a great combo, and,
and they saw
I
no
was in
connection? They saw no connection there?
oh, 0.
Okay.
It was like I couldn't have a dog. That was the culprit apparently.
You're like,
They finally did get me dogs, and it was like a blackmail thing because the I would go to the hospital or go to the doctor's office reeking of smoke. Like you don't my house looked like a poker game at 2 a.m. It was like you could hardly see. And we go, and I mean, I'm sure there was just like an odor coming off of us the second we walked through the hospital doors. But they would ask if anybody smoked around me, and my mother would level her gaze to make sure that I answered correctly, and I would be like, "No."
"Oh,
And, and then in 2nd grade, they finally got me 2 dogs, and that was kind of like, you know,
is that so they can
understanding.
blame the dogs for the asthma?"
I don't know that it was blame them because it didn't get any worse, but I
Okay.
think it was, I don't know, maybe a payoff a little bit.
Would you would you would you go
I was delighted.
would you go into the pediatrician and be like, "I don't know, doctor.
Yeah.
I just
No,
get
when I
screaming."
tell you, my mother would smoke as she folded the laundry, and ash would fall onto our clothes. I got called down to the nurse's office because I thought I was being abused
Oh my god.
because I had, like, cigarette holes in my clothes, and they still were like, "Does anyone smoke around you?" I'm like,
"No,
"No."
let's not stop." Like, what? Like, my mother smoked
Like, "No cigarettes here."
my dad smoked Marlboro and my mother smoked Kent 100s. And
Nice.
we had a Pinto with the gas tank in the front, and the windows would be rolled
Nice.
up, and they're smoking and drinking Pepsi with no seatbelts.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, It's a miracle we're here."
I know, it's like, "Let's roll the dice with the family and get on the
Yeah,
road."
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, my parents, I'm the youngest of 6, so my 2 of my older siblings smoked as well. Then, like, my aunt would come over, she was a chain smoker, so it was like it was
Yeah.
never ending.
I
And
always
they
think
were like,
to myself, like, Like, they'll be like, "This is before we knew." And I'm like, "How do
I
you know?"
know.
No.
I'm like, I'm sorry. You suck on a cigarette, you cough, you feel sick.
Yeah.
You know it's not great.
Like, we don't know certain things in our food, but we
Right.
eat, and we know eating is like we're supposed to do that, but who said, "I think I'm gonna put smoke in my lungs"? Who started this? That's
I
so
don't know, but my dad started when he was 8 years old.
oh,
8 years old, they would pick up cigarette butts. He said that, actors in movies, like the cool actors would smoke, so they wanted to smoke. And athletes. People like Joe DiMaggio. I don't know if they actually smoked,
yeah.
but they would smoke in public to like tobacco companies would pay them, I guess. And so my dad said the best butts were at the bus stop because somebody would light one up and then a bus would come and they'd have to toss it. So it would be like almost a whole cigarette. So they would smoke the butts at the bus stops whenever they
I
could.
love the best butts. The best butts
The
with the bus
best
stop.
butts. The
That
best.
is so
I like
clever.
big butts at the bus stop. Uh,
I don't understand because also it doesn't do anything for you. Like drinking affects you, weed affects
mhm.
you in some way that people like, but I don't understand. I guess maybe it caffeinates. I don't
It
really,
does.
but
Nicotine
oh,
does. Yeah. It really does. It like it's just it has a stimulating and calming effect. I think the
oh,
deep inhale and exhale is the calming part and the nicotine is like caffeine. It's very addictive. Cuz I've asked my siblings and my parents, I would ask cuz I was just like it made no sense to me. Like my mom had a brain aneurysm when I was in 7th grade. She was in intensive care for a month
oh my God.
all through Christmas. She couldn't smoke, the whole time. And then she got out and started smoking again. And I was like, why? You are over the physical addiction. Why? And she
Yeah.
was like, I love it.
Yeah. It's, I think if you have an addictive personality, there's something like
Mm-hmm.
you have to give it something, feed it
Yeah.
something. Like
Feed it something.
my dad smoked and gave up. He was a cold turkey, gave up, and everyone was so happy for him. And then he went to drinking. And then
Oh,
drank and drank
my
and
mom went in the other direction. I mean, she smoked and drank, but then she gave up drinking. And then I think smoking became her last, you
yeah,
know,
that's what I mean. Like it's part of a chemistry which needs to be fed something. So it's not
mm-hmm.
a thing, right? So he gave up smoking, started drinking, and then he got too fun. And
Mm.
we were like, "You're too fun, Dad." And he was like, "Oh," and like literally the next day, gave up drinking, and we're like, "Wow, that's amazing."
Wow.
Started smoking cigars. We
Oof,
like
those are
because
terrible.
you're not
That's
inhaling
the
them,
worst.
and we're like, "Yeah, but no one wants to
We
be,
are.
you know."
Yeah, and we are, by the way.
Yeah, and then he started inhaling the cigars. And I remember saying to him, I go, "Look, you're getting addicted to everything you do. You're addicted to it." I go, "Why don't you get addicted to apples? Like, why is it never anything healthy? You never like, I can't
Right.
stop eating these Macintoshes. Like, why can't you choose something? I don't care.
Right, like fill that void with something halfway positive.
Yeah, anything else. Some fiber.
Anything.
Yeah, I don't know, but I
Remember
guess
Kojak had the lollipop.
lollipops
Yeah, like even that, I know it's sugar, but it's better than a cigar.
better than a cigar. Gross.
So gross.
So gross. I was going to ask you, I'm going to interview you, Eileen.
Absolutely. Yeah, whatever.
I just, how did you start doing comedy and do you do it anymore? Do you do it at all?
Um So I had graduated college. I was working full time at a job that made me want to walk in front of a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I had no joy in my life. And I used to have to go through, I was working at a film publicity firm and I had to collect all the clippings about our actors and movies. And I'd have to go through all the daily newspapers and any magazines that came through. And I was going through the Village Voice and I saw this ad for a stand-up comedy class. And I saw it and it felt so magical that I thought I was hallucinating, and I shut the page and opened it again because I was like, that can't be a thing. And then I looked at it again and I was like, oh my God, this is real. And I called the number, and, this is like before caller ID and everything. I called the number from my office phone, and a woman answered, and I hung up. And then I just like thought about it and thought about it. And then I called probably the next day, and I might have hung up again. Like, I don't remember how long this went on, but I was like very in my head about it. And then I spoke to her, and she told me how much it was. And I think it was $250, which was a lot of money for me.
Mhm.
And like I didn't have any wiggle room at all. I paid my dad rent. I paid for my bus ticket into the city. And on Fridays, I could get a slice of pizza. Like that was how little I was making. And saved up and saved up. And it took months. And then I called back and I signed up for the class, and then I canceled. And then I signed up for
Oh,
the class again, and I canceled. And then I signed up again, and she's like, and I was like feeling like I'm so anonymous, and she knew my
he was
name,
like,
and she's
Eileen.
like, she was like, Eileen, are you gonna do it this time? And I was like, God damn it. So I was like, well, yeah, because now I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then I went to the class, and I was like, this is the best thing in the world.
Yeah. I remember you being so good.
Oh, you're
I
kind.
mean, I think we only did one gig together. It was that one gig. Do you remember this?
I do.
Because here's the crazy thing that you have been on my mind for years and you didn't know it. Because we did, it was I don't know how you became aware
Mom's,
of me. It was a Mother's
yeah.
Day or a mom's.
Mom's day out or something in the city, right?
Yes. And it was, I don't remember if it was at a church or what it was, but it was like people could bring their kids.
Right. I remember that.
And so I was pregnant. I didn't have a kid. I was hugely pregnant though, doing comedy, hugely.
Yeah.
And you had your twins in a stroller, and we were doing comedy, and there was like kids crying and people everywhere.
People were like on mats and kids are like crawling around. It was pandemonium.
It was pandemonium, and I remember you were so nice to me and you were so funny. And I
Oh.
remember thinking, "Oh, it's possible to like have this baby and do comedy and it just you'll figure it out and everything." And then we had a tragedy, which was I had a full-term stillbirth, which you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And so my baby died the day before he was due.
Mm,
It's hard to like process that he died the day before he was born.
mm,
And people don't know this, but you still have to go through labor. And I'd never been pregnant before, and I'd never given birth before. And I just lost my mind, became so incredibly depressed. It was a really scary time. Obviously stopped doing everything, I wasn't in
right.
touch with friends. I couldn't stand the things that people would say to try to make you feel better. I couldn't deal with anything. So I wasn't in touch with anyone. But we sent an email blast. We were going to announce the baby's birth. So we had put together this group, like we're going to announce the baby's birth to this group on an email. And so instead, we basically had to tell everyone that he died because everyone started writing, like, she had the baby yet? And I had met you once at that show. I did not know you. And I think I got over 100 letters and notes from people. I have them all still.
Mm,
And there are three that everyone appreciated everyone's thoughts and prayers and sympathy so much. Like the volume of it was really moving to me. But there are three that I never, ever forgot that for some reason, like just knew what to say and surprised me so much, and you were one of them. You wrote
mm,
me an email, and I won't say what it said, but I was like, "I don't even know her," and she said everything I needed to hear in this moment in time.
mm,
I never forgot that too, because you didn't have to do that. We really didn't know each other. And another one was from a production assistant that I worked on a movie with, and he was young, 20s, single, no kids. He wrote me a handwritten note. I His name is Ben. I will never, ever forget that he did that. And what he said
Oh,
was,
wow.
I was like, how does this guy know what to say?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you're one of those people. So for years, I was like, we live in the same town and we didn't see each other. And
Now, we didn't then, but we do now.
yeah, well, I was the next town over. I was in Bloomfield. You were in Montclair.
I was in Glen Ridge. And
Ah,
then I moved to Ohio for a while, a
okay.
short while. And then I moved here. So, yeah. So we were like
Well,
not
I
neighbors.
remember one time, so I was like just starting to leave the house again. One of the things I did was go to the Y. I'm like, I'm gonna go start to not work out to be like fit or anything, just get out and move. Because I was
Hmm.
on the couch. I went from my couch to my bed for 7 months without exaggeration. Without,
I don't know how you're not still on the couch. Like the amount of courage and strength that it took to get off that couch is like superhuman.
oh, I don't feel like I had it. Like I was like, I've learned my limit. Like this might break me. I'm not sure that I even want to be here, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I remember I started to get out. I went to the Y and I was like, just get out, just go to the Y, just walk on a treadmill or whatever. And I go, and there is this woman, and I know who she is. I'm not going to say, you probably know who she is. 9 months pregnant, running full speed, huge incline, talking on the phone.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I literally was like, what? Like, why is this the first thing I'm seeing on my first
Yes,
day out? Um, and it just upset me so much.
of course. It's like a
Nothing bad
fucking
for anybody.
cosmic
I was like,
practical joke.
kidding me? And then I
Oh.
remember another time when I was starting to be like better. I was starting to be better. Time was passing. I got pregnant again. And then I was at a red light, and I don't know if you were jogging or what, but it was you and you had your twins in stroller and you crossed in front of me. And I remember it was like that moment in Bridges of Madison County where she's like, should I get out of the car? And I was
Oh.
like, that's Eileen. That's that woman Eileen. And I was like, I haven't seen her since that gig before when I was pregnant.
Mm.
And I was like, should I get out and say hi? And I didn't. But you
Oh my gosh.
years. And then I have to tell the people listening because there's I have to tell them that that my oldest daughter, Sophie, gets into Northeastern. Um, yeah, you announce it. Everyone announces it,
Yeah.
high school thing. And you wrote to me out of nowhere, not remembering who I was, which makes sense. You met me once. And you were like, my kids go to Northeastern. If you need any information, and I was like, "It's Eileen." I was like, "It is
There's
Eileen."
this invisible thread between us.
So it's just bizarre, and I was like, "I must tell this woman how much she affected my life in such a positive way." I was like,
Oh,
and here she is again, like, offering help. So, mm,
right back at you, sister.
I'm serious, like, you'd have no idea the effect that you've had on me over the years really quietly.
Oh, wow.
One little
It
moment.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad that I could offer even a modicum of comfort in such a dark, dark, dark time.
Yeah, you did,
Um,
you did.
because I've been on my knees several times in my life
Mm,
and I know what it's like and I know what it takes to get up
mhm.
and I applaud you because it is fucking superhuman.
You have no choice really, like, people are like, "Oh my god, I could never do that, you're so strong." I'm like, "Yeah, you do it, you have to do it."
That's the worst.
I
I
mean,
I I know people think that they're being complimentary, but people would say to me, guy, I have a son who's on the spectrum and he's very high needs and I don't talk about it much, but it's been very, very challenging for a number of years. And people would say, "It's you're just so strong. I could never do that. You're just so strong." It's like, if I could pick behind door number 2, oh,
mhm,
I'd do it. I'm no saint, believe me.
yeah,
Like, make no mistake, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, there's the
So,
only choice in some scenarios is to not be here anymore, you
yeah.
know, and
And
s
I have been in that space. I
Yeah.
really have. And and the thing too is I feel like when people say that, I think they think it's a compliment or a comfort.
Mhm.
But what it actually does is it creates distance between you and them.
Mhm.
It's like you're different than me. You're over here and it just makes you feel more alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't it's not strong. It's just it's
I have
survival.
no choice.
You have no
Yeah,
choice. What do you want
you
me
have
to
no
do?
choice.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? I have no choice. I actually said that to someone. My son was acting out and they were saying that they wouldn't put up with it.
Mm.
And I said, "Should I shoot him?"
Oh
Like
my
I just
God.
I was in such a dark place and I was so tired of it, like from teachers, from principals, from whatever, that I was just like, "Should I shoot him?
What did they
Think I
say?
should shoot him?"
What did
They
they
were like, no, they were like speechless.
Yeah.
And I just turned around and walked away.
Yeah. Yeah, like, "Oh, I would do that differently," you know?
I wouldn't put up with that. Oh, I encourage it actually. This is how I like to live. Thanks.
Yeah, you're like, "I'm taking it for ice cream after this." Like, "What do you think I'm doing?"
I like being stared at on the school front lawn and everyone moving away from us like we're the skunks
Yeah,
in the yard, like thank you. I,
you
I
just
I've
don't
achieved my
know.
goal.
You don't
I know.
know you don't know what anyone is going through. Like, you don't know. And then the more, like, I didn't talk about it very much. There's no place to talk about it. No one's asking you, like, about it. But when people would find out about it, there's probably not one person who didn't say, like, "I know someone," or that happened to my mother," or "That happened to me," or "That happened to my friend," or, so once you start, everyone's pretending to be okay all the time. I'm like, let's just start telling each other shit. Like, because there's
I
gotta be
know.
someone who experienced
You
it.
make a connection.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing, I think. I told this in a storytelling, and it was really powerful. I mean, I won't tell the whole thing, but after we had the loss, like, I didn't want to see anyone or do anything, but my husband was like, we should go to a support group. And I was like, I don't know. And we like tried a few and they made me feel worse. And he's like, I found this one, it's in the city. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And so we end up going. It was so organized. It was so amazing. I mean, light grief altering, life changing. There was a
Wow.
couple it was all couples, and there's a couple across from us every week. They'd sit in the same spot, and I'd be like, I really like that couple. And then anyway, every week that we would meet, because it was 8 weeks, they would rush off and be like, we have to catch a train, we have to catch a train. And then we would drive home because we're killing the environment. And at one point I go, where are you catching a train to? And they go, Montclair. And what, because this was
What?
me, in 2000.
Yeah.
5? And so I was like, we live in Montclair." And they're like, "Oh," and I go, "You drive home with us." So they got in the car, they drove home with us. The first time we drove them home from the pregnancy loss support group was the first time I laughed in a year.
Oh
I was
my
in that car.
God.
First time I laughed in a year. And
Wow.
then we started to be friends, but I was afraid to be friends because I thought, this is I need to get pregnant again, and I cannot I doesn't matter who it is. I can't have a journey with someone. She's gonna get pregnant first, or I'm gonna get pregnant. It's just gonna be complicated. So I
Mhm.
tried to keep a little distance, but I really liked them so much, and my husband really liked the husband. So
Other husband, yeah.
so we started having coffee. We started hanging out. Me and her name is Catherine.
Mm.
And so one time, after a few months, we're having a walk in a park, and she goes, she stops. She goes, I have something to tell you. And I was like, "Here it is, here it is, here we go, here we go." And she goes, "I'm pregnant." And I said, "I am too." Pregnant at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
And she had had a full term uh stillbirth with a girl, and I had a full term stillbirth with a boy. And she ended up having a boy, and I ended up having a girl. And
Oh my
unbeknownst to her, she
gosh.
named her boy the name that we had picked if he had lived. She didn't even know.
Oh
Okay?
my gosh.
I'm not exaggerating any of this. So then we're in the park again, strolling the babies. Now we're like, we got the babies. right? We're being moms together. We got the families. We introduced each other to or the grandparents are all involved in our life. And then we're in the park, and I go, Catherine, I go, I have something to tell you. And she goes, I go, I'm pregnant. And she goes, me too.
Oh my gosh.
So we both have these girls. So now we got the 4 babies, and this is like a year after, like these were very close together. So now we got
Yeah.
4 babies, and we're all hanging out, and
Oh my
we're so
gosh.
close. We started to like joke around that we combined our last names, like it was like a joke. And and then a couple years later, I was like, I have something to tell you, and she goes, I don't. So I'm like, okay. So I had another. And then when my son was a year, she had another. And I'm not making this up. All these 3 kids are best friends, and our oldest kids went to the prom together.
Oh my
Stop it, stop it.
gosh.
Isn't that the craziest? And they're all best
The
friends, and
craziest and most awesome.
they all know how we met. And
Oh,
yeah, and then I told my son, only 2 years ago did I tell my youngest, how we met them. And
okay.
I said, he was asking something about it. He's like, "You met them at a party, right?" I'm like, it wasn't really a party." And I
It's the
told
opposite of a party, actually.
it was a sad party. And then when I told him, he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Oh, oh, this all makes sense." And I was like, "It does?" And he goes, "Yes, yes, this really makes sense now that that's how you met." And then he goes, "I don't wanna hurt your feelings." And I was like, "Oh boy, what the sure as
What?
time he's gonna hurt my feelings." And he said, "But isn't it amazing that something so wonderful came out of something so horrible?" And I was
Oh
like,
my God, from the mouths of babes.
I mean, he was 12 when he said that. And I was like, "That's what," I said, "that is number 1 lesson of life. Like, you don't know what's gonna
You
happen."
don't know. And you
Yeah.
just have to keep keeping on
Yeah.
because you don't know. And it feels like sometimes the longest hallway with
Mhm.
no light and no door, and you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yep. I know that was long, sorry, but
No.
it's such a, I hope it's like a hopeful story.
Oh, it's such a hopeful story. And I think when I wrote to you, I told you about going through 6.5 years of infertility to have my twins. And it was our last IVF. It wasn't covered by insurance. We had had a bunch. It was taking such a toll on me. My mother was dying and then died of cancer. And it was just like such a bad time.
Yeah.
It was so bad, just relentlessly bad. And I remember getting the transfer, and they were frozen, and frozen embryos don't have as high a success rate. So I used to, and I was doing stand up because, nothing, no one brings the funny like a infertile woman with a dying mother. So I was performing like 6 nights a week, getting shots and all sorts of stuff in the morning. It was really like a special circle of hell.
It's supposed
And,
to be tragedy plus time.
there was 0 time. I'm
Yeah.
like, "So 5 minutes ago." Um, so, I would joke though that, so I think there were like 28 embryos at one point, and, when they freeze them and they thaw them, like, a lot of them don't make it,
Oh.
and, but meanwhile, we're paying an exorbitant amount of rent. We moved into the city. We sold our house. We moved into the city near Cornell Weill, where I was gonna get
Oh.
infertility treatment, right?
Mhm.
And then we're paying an exorbitant amount of rent. We're paying for a garage for our car, and now we're paying for storage for the eggs. And I'm like,
Storage for
I'm
the
paying for
car.
I got rent for eggs, rent for me, rent for my car. So
The
I would
car,
joke,
the eggs, we gotta pick one. Something's gotta go.
somebody's gotta go. And then they'd give us a sonogram of the eggs, and but it wasn't a viable thing yet. But we would be getting these newsletters from friends. Remember when newsletters were a thing, like
Yeah.
family newsletters?
Oh, yeah.
Which, it was like, let me pull out my own fingernails. And it's not that I didn't wish other people well.
No, you
It
just, no.
just becomes too much. It's like
Yeah.
you want everyone to be happy, but I can't go to this baby shower.
No.
It's been 6 years. I just can't do it.
No.
And so we would get these newsletters that were like, and Bobby's doing this, and Sophie's doing that, and da da da. And so I drew like Santa hats on the eggs, and
Oh,
I was like, I didn't send it, but I wrote this whole story about what the eggs have been up to.
You didn't send it. You should have sent that.
I didn't. I felt like it was too dark, but
Oh my God.
but I was like, oh, I'll write a motherfucking newsletter. I was like, here's my newsletter.
Yeah.
It was
That's
cathartic, but I didn't actually send it to anyone.
But that is the thing about comedy. Like, I at one point taught kids comedy, and I was trying to teach them to like bring me their struggles, like even if they're
Yeah, me too. I have too. And they were like, they bring in jokes, and it's like, no, I want to know what you're afraid of, what you're struggling with.
yeah, and it's hard to do this, and it's hard enough with adults to be like, bring your struggles, because everyone's trying to be
Yes.
funny. Just tell me the
Yes.
truth. Tell me the truth. And I had once they understood it, I had the most amazing experiences with these kids. I had a kid who this is like the best. I said, I want you to tell me something unique about you, something that maybe people know or they don't know, but that makes you unique. And this kid goes, oh, so some kid was like, I collect rocks. And I was like,
Pass.
"Crap." I was like, excellent. I can't wait to write a joke about
I
that.
know, you have to be encouraging, and it's like,
Yeah.
aw.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got a lot of the rock thing, and I like going to Target and look, and I'm like, oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, I know.
And then this kid gets up, and he's 8 years old, and he said, I had a kidney transplant, and I was like, and
Now we're getting somewhere.
the whole class was like, what? And I was like, don't show, just poker face, poker face. So I was like, oh, and I was like, so, whose kidney was it? Like, well, no big deal. And he's like, it was my mom. My mom. So I was
Holy
like,
shit.
okay. So I asked him a few questions, and then I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna go home and the mom's gonna be like, what? You're making
Yeah,
jokes about
yeah.
it? So I wrote to the mom who I didn't know, and I was like, he's talking about this, and she said, this is amazing. He's never talked about it. Okay. So let him do whatever he
Oh
wants.
my
I said, I promise you,
God.
we're not gonna make fun of it. We're gonna find like the humor.
Right.
This kid, this cat, we wrote jokes. I mean, I kind of wrote the joke, but he gave me the
Right.
information to write the
Yeah.
joke. And
I'm
like,
already writing jokes in my head right now about it.
I know. And I was like, wait. So like you have like a piece of your mom like inside you that you carry around. He's like, yeah. I go, does it make you like do things that like you wouldn't normally
Yeah,
do?
that's exactly where my mind went.
So he's like, one of his jokes was that I don't know, this thing of my mom like living inside me. Sometimes I find myself just eating chocolate and watching Bravo. And
Totally.
so that was like what it was. But we broke this down, and he talked about this, and so the show for these kids was Main Stage Gotham Comedy Club, New York City. This kid's 8 years old. He's wearing a T-shirt that has like a tuxedo. Like
Oh, cute. Yeah.
he tells these jokes, and he gets applause breaks and a standing ovation.
Oh my God.
His grandmother came up to me after the show crying and was like, "You don't understand.
The
He
healing that happened right then.
She said he almost died. If I show you pictures of him, he almost died, and he's talking about this on stage in New York City, and he's never talked about it." And the whole point of this is that's what comedy can do. It can take the bully, the thing that bullies you privately, and if you laugh at the bully, you can't be afraid of it anymore. You can't laugh
Exactly.
at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's like
That's exactly it.
you with the eggs, you're like, you know what? Fuck Bobby and his and his it's just like I'm gonna I'm gonna
Yeah.
think, like I think it was
The
Nora.
most painful thing.
Yeah, Nora Ephron said if you slip on a banana peel and fall, people laugh at you. But if you tell people you slipped on a banana peel and fell, it's your laugh.
That's right.
And so you take control of how we're going to laugh at this thing that is like
Yep.
haunting you. And I,
Yep.
oh my God, you gotta, that's so great.
Well, the moment that I made the decision, like you talked about the boy teasing you, I was in 4th grade. I was always leaving. I was sick a lot. I was in intensive care sometimes. So I'd be in intensive care for a week, then I'd be in pediatrics for a week, then maybe I'd be home for a couple days to regain my strength, then I'd go back to elementary
Was
school.
this asthma?
Yeah.
Okay.
And every time I came back, I was like skinnier and weirder than I was before because I'm like, I'm whatever, 8, 9.
Right.
I'm shy anyway. Now I haven't been here for 3 weeks.
Oh God.
I dropped down to a different, weirder lunch table. You know what I mean? Like everybody just keeps going and you're left behind. And I
Yeah.
don't know the latest scuttlebutt on the playground. Like I'm just, trying to get my bearings. And I someone said, a boy said, like, where do you go? Why are you always gone? Where are you going? And I remember thinking, this is it. I am drowning. If I'm going to stay with the pack, I have to make this funny. And I made up a song on the spot to this, to the song Locomotion, but I made it Suffocation. And I made up a song about asthma on the spot. And this group of kids gathered around me and they were all laughing. And it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is how I deal with this. And this is good.
Yeah.
Because before I was embarrassed about it. I didn't want to tell people. People would be like, why are there bruises all over your arms? Because I'd always have like IVs and blood tests and I was always covered in bruises and I was ashamed. And
Yeah.
instead of carrying that, I decided to make a joke out of it and it changed everything.
Yes. I just saw this, I don't know if you follow this is it's a different podcast, I won't say, but it's a comedy
I listened to many.
it's a comedy podcast. It's like they interview
Mhm,
a lot of professional comedians, and there's a comedian named Pete Lee, and he was interviewed saying like, it's always like, how do you come up with your stuff and your bits and your material? And he had this point that I just thought is so good. He's like, because I'm all about, and I'm sure you are, like the truth, the truth. What's the truth? You start with the
mhm,
truth. The truth is usually funnier than the thing you're trying to make up. And
mhm.
he's
Always.
saying, like, you start with the truth and you just like tell the stuff and it's about your struggles because people want to hear you being vulnerable. So and he's like, and then there's that thing, that one thing that you're holding back. That one thing where you're like, you've talked about the thing and it's funny and you're this is so embarrassing and this is true. And then it's like that one thing you're holding back. And he said, you got to ask yourself, what do I not want them to know? Like what part of this do I not want to tell them? And he's like, "That's probably the best, funniest part. That's the part
Mhm,
talk about, that truth he
mhm.
because that exists, like, in them too. Like, someone else is feeling that or thinking that, So
Right. Or it might not be the same thing, but there's something that feels big and scary to someone else that might be totally different. But when they hear you're big scary, they're like, oh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's not
okay
the
to
same
address this.
you're not trying to connect with the same experience, you're trying to connect with the feeling that they're having in that experience. Like, I've felt
Yes.
that, not at the store, but here, that's where the
Hmm.
connection is between the audience and the comics, I think.
Yeah. And I have found that that's something I can through my life almost always fall back on, but in the times when I couldn't, and I think when you were on the couch, you were
Yeah.
probably in this place. For the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
part, when I was going through infertility, I could n- find funny. And I was performing a lot. And so it was forcing me to just deal with stuff like in the moment. Like, even I remember going to therapy because I went to a comedian friend's birthday party and she had a tarot reader there. And I
Oh,
didn't even really want to go to the party, but I liked her so much. And I knew I was a mess. So I was a little like, felt like I'm not safe to be in public, but I liked her so much and we were kind of new friends and I was like, let me just make myself go. And then there was a tarot reader and then everybody was like, get a card, like just get a reading. And I was like, no, like there's nothing good coming up for me. I don't
Like, I don't
need to
want to
be
know.
told that.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I know what's coming down the pike and it ain't good.
Yeah.
And so anyway, for some reason, everybody at the party got involved in like making me get a tarot reading. And it was a
Okay.
terrible feeling. I was like getting bullied into this. And finally the tarot readers, just one card. And I was like, fine.
It's like a
And
guy with a scythe, like a.
it was the death card.
It
It was
was?
the death card. Yes, it sure was.
No. And then
Yes, it was.
did she tell
And
you?
my mother died within the month
Oh, no.
after that. And I knew, I mean, it wasn't she was battling
No.
cancer. I knew it was happening, but I threw the card down and I was like, I spoke to this tarot reader like she was killing my mother with her bare hands, with her
Yeah.
bare patchouli soaked hands. I was like, this is why. And like, I turned around and like got my coat and walked out. And I was like, I might need to get into therapy.
Oh my God. Oh, that's awful.
And then
Sometimes when
I
the
went to
tarot
therapy.
people pull up that card,
Yeah.
no, it's a good thing because there's
I
some
know.
ending that maybe
And
you
that
don't
is
want,
true.
and you're like, okay,
That
there's a
really is
guy,
true sometimes.
there's
But
a guy with a sickle or whatever,
yeah,
with a
not
hood.
looking great to me. Yeah.
There's a skeleton with
The
a
Grim
hood.
Reaper is in my
Yeah,
midst.
yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, it doesn't literally, it doesn't always mean the death card, or most of the
Right.
time it probably doesn't. It does mean an ending. But I knew for me that's what it was. And that's why I didn't want to do it to begin with. But then I went to therapy and I go to this therapist who's like, I don't know, 30 and like trying her best. And she's like, so how can I help you? I'm like, well, I've been trying to have a baby for 6 years and my mother's dying of cancer. So unless you have a spare baby lying around or the cure for cancer, I don't really see what you can do. And she was like, ugh.
Yes, I did. And you know what? I
That's
did
like-
the same thing. Same thing. Went to therapy the week after the baby died. I went to therapy. And she was like, how can I help you? She knew she knew what was going on because my husband told her, but and I just sat there and I go, you gonna bring him back or not? If you can't, then you can't help me. That's what I said. Did the same thing. This poor woman. Ugh.
I know.
Woman.
I know. I'm like, this woman must dread my appointments because I held nothing back. And then what I started doing was like making her laugh.
Yeah.
And it did help me, right?
Oh.
Not in the traditional sense, but it kind of helped me get back to that mentality, you know?
Yeah. This woman was my punching bag for many months, many months. I was like, you know what? I don't even like your face. You know why? Because you're is associated with this event. I would never have
Right.
met you if this hadn't happened. So forever, your face is going to trigger me. And she was like, and then I would see her. I would see her around town. I saw her in like a soup place. And I was like, oh, hey, name of therapist. And she was like,
She was like, bye.
and then
She's like, I'll take it to go.
yeah. The next session, she's like, the reason I didn't say hello to you is because of patient privacy. And I was like, well, you should have told me that because you're your therapist and she doesn't even say hello.
Yeah, it's like a real rejection. It really
was like,
cuts deep.
Yeah, I was like, wow, even my therapist is rejecting me. These poor people. Oh my God.
I know.
Wow.
They're real heroes. But I fully support you getting it out however you needed to.
I did. Yeah. Over time, I did.
I'm
Yeah.
glad.
And there was one where I was like realizing her. I was like, you know what? Never mind me. I'm so terrible. Oh my God, what a bitch. I was like, was I in grief or was I a bitch? Like, she was like trying to like analyze the situation. I'm like, there's nothing to analyze. But how about I analyze you? I don't know anything about you. I can tell you everything about you. And she was like, go ahead. And I did. And she was like, I swear, through like I saw the tears.
That's the last time she ever invited that.
I know. I was like, let's not. I was like, that'll be $200. Oh my God. It's such a
I
duck.
actually told another therapist, a couples therapist actually, that he was a what did I say? I said, "You're like a joy tick on my neck, just sucking all the joy out of me."
We should write apology notes.
We
We really
really
should.
should.
That was a dark time for me, and
I know. I was in a bad place. You're not a tick.
I was in a bad place. Oh God. But you know what? You're paying them for it, so
And they have training in how to deal with this, and they go to therapy to unload all the garbage that we heap. But
that's
yeah, I mean, that's like major, 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 major leagues. And I am sure she understood,
I'm
you
not sure.
know?
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen her a few times, and I'm like hoping, like around
Did I
town.
break her?
I know. I was like,
Did I break her soul?
she's still alive, so I don't know. She seems okay. I know. I think I was like, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. But you're so angry. That's the thing. You're so angry when this stuff happens.
And you have nowhere to put it, and you have no one that understands, and
Yeah,
they don't even understand. And
yeah,
it just makes you just rageful.
yeah. She told me to stop driving, which I did do for a little while because the rage in the car was like, I mean, I'm like, look, I live in New Jersey. What do you want? This is normal?
Oh,
She was like,
I
yeah, getting out of your car at a red light to confront someone, not
oh
see,
my God, I did the same thing.
safe. Not a good idea.
I did that on 79th Street because
Was that
he
you?
beeped.
No.
No, it was a guy behind me and he beeped at me. And he beeped while I was sitting at the red light. And I got out of my car and strolled over, and now it was green. But I mean, I was in a place where I'm like, come at me, bro.
Yeah,
I want you to.
yeah. I want you to kill me.
Yep.
Like,
And
murder me.
there was that. Then a woman was pulling out at the end. You know what street parking is like in New York City.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's life or death. I have driven around for 2+ hours
Yeah.
trying to park my car and get into my apartment. And I put my blinker on. This woman was pulling. I pulled forward because she was pulling out and she was the last spot on the street. And then there was like space behind her, but you couldn't park there. And I said, "Are you leaving?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." And I put my blinker on and I pulled ahead so she could get out. And somebody pulled behind. And so this woman's like, we're in a standoff. And the woman who said, I'm leaving, right? Like, she's like, what's she doing? And I was like, she's trying to steal my spot. And she's like, I'm not going to let her. I go, you got to go live your life. I go, you pull out. I'll take care of it.
Oh, I like that, though.
So I back as the woman's back, like going front ways in, I back my car. And so now we're like this. And we're sitting there and she beeps her horn and I beep my horn. And I'm like, I'll fucking live here.
Yes.
Like, I'm not leaving, right? So we sat there for quite a while, and then I got out of my car and I said, I have a knife in my bag and I'm going to slash your tires unless you move.
Did you say
And she
that?
was like,
Did you really say
I
that?
did.
Did you have a
Yeah.
knife
I
in
go, I'm going to go. I did.
your bag?
Small one, but it could do the job. And,
Wait, why did you have a knife
and
in your bag?
I always kept a Swiss Army knife on my keys. It's so handy. There's like a tiny scissor and a nail file, and it was all for practical reasons. It wasn't
Tiny
like a switchblade,
nail file.
but the knife blade was like that big. That's enough to puncture somebody's tire. I could do it.
or
And
or an
so I
artery.
was like, unless I see you pull out, I'm going back to my car now and I'm coming back with my knife. And she
Wow,
pulled out and I got my spot.
you.
And again, I was like, I better keep going to therapy.
Yes. Yes. Yes, you should.
Nobody told me not to drive. So
I love that you would use anything on that Swiss Army knife other than like you're like, yeah, to open with the
I'll
corkscrew.
file my nails and puncture your tires and have a good night.
Yeah, and that nail file is like a tiny metal, like, yeah.
It's like a file that you would use, I don't know, to file off a license plate or something, but it
They
works in a jam.
they should make like more useful stuff from that Swiss Army knife.
We
They
should
should
make like a
be able to
women's
pull
Swiss
out
Army.
Yeah. I don't know what,
Yeah. We
but
we should invent that. Make it really useful and a good emery board, like a glass. Yeah. We
and
should
like a
do
little
that.
flask with some and
Right?
whatever. What do we need? What do we
In
need?
case of emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be a
A little
women's
life kit.
Swiss Army knife. We should make that up. We should
We
market
should. I think
that.
this is our $1,000,000 idea.
Oh my God. Someone else is gonna steal it.
There are so many multi-tools, I think they're called, like people, fathers get them for Father's Day. They like fold out and have a million Allen wrenches and whatever. Like we could do that with
Yeah.
everything you need in your purse in one fat little foldable thing.
I think it would be good.
I
I
do
think it'd be
too. I think
excellent.
we need to pursue this.
Done.
Who knows? I always have these big ideas and then I think of executing it. And I'm like, who do I know who could
I
like
know.
make a model of a
I know.
knife?
I'm like an ideas person. Best
I'm
idea.
an ideas person. I'm like, I just got to hand it off to someone who gets things done.
I'm
I
doing
can
nothing.
only think of things.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of the actual creation.
My dad used to invent things in the basement
That's
that
exciting.
had already been invented. A lot of them. And
In a better
yeah,
way.
like it's a little square piece of paper with like a sticky on the back. I'm like, that's a post-it. Like we have that. You know, it's like it's a bin where you put everything, all your like recyclables. I'm like, that is a recycle bin. And I was like, "Okay." And then one time I went
Aw.
in the basement, and I'm not making this up. There was a bag of hair. There was a bag of hair, and it said 60-year-old man, 1 week. And I go, Dad,
Oh.
what is that? He's like, I'm trying to invent something for the drain in the shower.
Like a Drano or a liquid plumber
Like a thing that would pull hair out of the drain. And
or
I
a snake. Yeah.
whose hair is it in that bag? He's like, that's mine. And I was like, ah,
We're getting into hoarders territory here.
what is going on? I was like, why is there a bag of your pubic hair
Oh my god.
like tacked to a corkboard with a
That's
label?
like this is like the beginning of a horror movie.
It really is. He had all sorts of stuff. He had all sorts of inventions. That the umbrellas with the now they have them because they blow over. They have the flaps with a
Flap or whatever to let the vents. Yeah.
yeah. He invented that.
Really?
He invented that. I think he invented that before that was an invention, but that's the thing is it all stayed in the
Oh.
basement, so he never
Yeah, how do you execute it if you
had
don't have
to.
a factory or something or a model maker? I don't know. My dad would invent stuff simply to save money because he was so cheap. So like do you remember Zim Zam?
No.
Do you remember? It was a metal pole with a coil and a tennis ball and a rigid, like a rope, but like a petrified rope. So the ball stuck out and you would you could practice tennis and it would stay on this coil, right? And you could practice tennis. So I asked for it for my birthday or Christmas or something. My dad took a tennis ball, put it in the foot of one of the legs of my mother's pantyhose and tied the other leg to the clothesline. And he's like, there's your Zim Zam.
Oh my God. That's so funny. You gotta love dad in a basement with some tools. I went down there once and there was oh my God. I went down there once and there was a chair, right? And there was a circle of mirrors that were hung up facing the chair. Like you sit and there's mirrors all around you in
All around
a
you.
circle. And I was like,
What
literally like,
is going on?
like, are you starting a cult? Is this like a religious
Yeah.
thing? And I was like, what is with the chair and the circle of mirrors? And he goes,
I'm
well,
so
I gotta
tired.
cut my own hair and I can't see the back.
Ah,
And I'm like,
my
he's like, it's
God.
my barber shop. I'm like,
Ah. Oh my God, I love your father.
to save money. He cut his
Why
own hair.
couldn't he get a haircut?
I'm like, just get a haircut, Dad. It's not. And he's like, no, why would I do that? I can cut my own hair. I'm like, you have a mullet. You have a mullet. He's like,
My dad bought clippers and decided to try them out on me. I was in kindergarten. My hair was almost as long as it is now. And he was just like, yeah,
He
I
just
have
shaved
pictures
her
on that.
head?
It wasn't shaved. It was really, really short, like shorter than a Dorothy Hamill, like very weird
You
for
had
the time
5
period. It
other
was
siblings he could have done that to. You must have
two
done it.
two
Yes.
boys. And
Why little
instead, the girl
Eileen?
in the barrettes, he's like, let's try this out. There's pictures of me on the Strangers with Kittens website before and after my father's.
He's like, let's
My
use
father bought
Agnes, the
clippers.
girl with the big head. Like,
Try it on her.
let's try it on her. She doesn't have any friends anyway.
Totally. Exactly.
That's so sad.
What's the harm?
That's so sad. Where are you from?
I love
it. Where did you grow up?
Jersey.
Oh,
I grew up in Bergen County in Waldwick.
okay.
How about you?
Boston. Well, I
Oh.
say Boston, but it was like a she suburb, Newton, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, I know Newton. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from there, and
I did a show there actually.
really?
I feel like I did a fundraiser for like a very posh private school, and it was a real experience for me because I did a bunch of shows up in the Irish Catskills the weekend before that, and I killed because they were my people, right? It was a
Sure.
bunch of blue collar Irish people. So, when I talk about cigarette holes and holes in the car floor, everyone's like, yes, I also had that.
Yeah.
And then I went to this fundraiser show and everyone was in Manolo Blahniks, and I had never been around old money ever. Well, I mean, I was like a cater waiter in college in Westchester. So I guess I had been, but I wasn't interacting with them. So I didn't have to know how it worked,
Yeah.
And now I'm on stage and I'm having a conversation with them, and it is like wires are crossed. Like they did not connect with me at all. And when I talked about marriage and I had like a bunch of material on my husband and married life, and the women would look at their husbands for permission to laugh. And it was freaking me out. Like I could
Wow.
see it and I was processing it and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, it might have been the worst show of my life. I'm not kidding. It was packed, but I never had a show, even for 2 people. And I literally have done like, shows in little clubs where there were 2 people there. I had better shows than this. Like people were just like, I would say things that had people on the floor laughing the weekend before, and here they covered their mouths and were like, oh my God.
Oh my God. That's so interesting when it's like the same material and it totally kills. And then another show, it could be the next day. You're like,
There was nothing about me that was familiar to them. I'm talking the things that were being auctioned off were a week on someone's yacht. Like I'm talking money, like
oh,
old money. Like some of these people maybe never worked.
yeah,
And for me to be talking about being the youngest of 6 kids and like a janky car and
yeah.
smokers, and they were like, we have no idea what you're saying.
They had no struggle to relate to. Because
None.
they're like, we haven't struggled. Talk about something else. But like, what
Yeah.
did you
And
even?
even marriage, I left that material. I left off a bunch of stuff because I was like, this isn't flying. And I went on to relationships and marriage. And I'm like, well, this is universal, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that they laughed, but the weird delay of watching the women look at their husbands and see if it was okay for them to laugh at the husband stuff
Oh my
freaked
God.
me out.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. What is
Yeah.
this? What do they
Trad
call it?
wife, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a whole nother
Were they
world
wearing
that
bonnets?
I and
We were so real.
even
They all
when
had these red dresses with bonnets.
I was well, they weren't the red bonneted ones. They were the affluent ones, right? Those
Oh,
were the handmaidens. These were like the
right.
women who enslaved them. And I remember commenting, this woman had on these burgundy Manola Blahnik Mary Janes, which were like very coveted and very rare back then. And I called her out to compliment her and tell her how fabulous her shoes were. And that apparently was like really bourgeois or something of me and did not go over well.
Did
I
you
was like,
you
oh
on
my
her or
God.
something?
No, I couldn't have been lovelier. Like, I was like, look at you in your wine Manola Blahnik Mary Janes looking fabulous. You know, like I was just like that. Like, I was like, are those burgundy Mary Jane Manola Blahniks? You know, like I was just like giving her props. And she was mortified. Her husband was mortified. It was clearly a social faux pas. I was like, I don't know how to be around you people at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I,
I
there
had
was nothing about me that was right.
I knew someone who had like a really big, really big engagement ring. Huge, like huge.
Yeah, I've seen one before.
Yeah,
They're
and I
crazy.
was
It's like
like,
you
oh,
can't, you get dazzled by them every time they move their hand. You're like, what is going on?
you know, I love- and,
I'm hypnotized.
and anytime anyone would comment on it, she'd get like annoyed. Like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
like, well, stop wearing it then.
Yeah.
You chose the disco ball. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
want me to do?
It's like if you wear a weird hat, I'm gonna talk about it. Like, what's
Yeah.
the point?
Amelia Bedelia. Like, you can't just walk out of your house like that and not have people notice.
Yes. Yes. I always say,
And clearly you want it to be noticed. So don't pretend you didn't.
yeah, no one comments on mine. No one.
Yeah. I
You
can just
don't
live
want
my
people
life just fine.
yeah, you don't want people to say anything? I'll lend you this.
And I exactly. We
Yeah.
can switch if it makes you uncomfortable.
I don't need diamonds. I have love.
You bring your own fabulousness. You dazzle naturally.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I could talk to you all day long.
I know.
And we gotta get you on the books again because this was just more fun than anyone should be having.
Oh, I know. It's so fun. I'm so glad. This is
Yeah,
how we visit. We do it
I know,
orbit.
right?
Imagine all the stuff we didn't say.
I
Like,
know. Well, we'll say that next time.
let's do like let's do like an R-rated, really like edgy one next time.
Okay,
I don't know what I mean.
I'm on board with that. I don't know where we're going, but I'm up for the ride. All right.
Love some
Well,
cocktail.
it has been yes. Oh my gosh, let's have a boozy
You don't want that.
episode. That would be fun.
Wait, what's your drink?
What's not really? No.
Wow. Okay.
Did I
Wow.
mention I'm Irish? No. No. I had moved into the Scotch arena for a while, and then I backed way off of that because I was like, this is getting too comfy. But if I'm going out to have fun, I'd
Yeah.
say tequila and soda with 3 limes.
Oh, so specific with the fruit.
Yeah, 1 lime isn't enough. 2
Oh,
maybe, but 3 really hits it home.
okay. All right. That's nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Unfortunately, my favorite and only drink is bourbon, and I've been encouraged to like find another one because that's not something you can like throw down to relax every day. Like you can't.
Right.
My friends are very rosé, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like pink Perrier. I'm not. It's not my thing. I'm not a
Yeah.
feminine person. I've tried to be. Tried. I've tried to like have rosé in a salad, but I'm more like, give me some steak and some bourbon,
I drink. Yeah.
and
I'm thinking of that Taylor Swift line. I drink that brown liquor. You're
yeah,
like, I'm drinking with the big boys.
that's kind of what I'm like. Like I'm kind of a dude. I have friends who
I
think
love that. I
they're
could
like,
drink scotch with you all day long.
but then I have an alter ego called Whiskey Becky, which she's super fun. And the sad thing is she comes out after shows. So I do shows. I never ever 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 have drunk anything before a show.
Yeah, I don't either. No.
After the show, we all relax. We're like in a mode. And the saddest part to me is that afterwards, all the comics will be like, why don't you bring Whiskey Becky on stage? She's hilarious. And I'm like, What?
So
What are
you're
you
not like sober Becky?
Yeah, like, "Oh, Becky, she's
Yeah.
fine. She's holding back. She's holding back." They're like, "We want whiskey Becky on stage."
Yeah. I can't say I've never drunk. I will have something light, but I am strict about making sure that I'm on point,
Yeah, you
because
have
I've gone up after people that were not in their right mind, and it's rough. Like, you got to really make the audience feel okay again, because they did not feel like
Yeah.
a pilot was flying the plane.
Yeah.
They felt like they were going down, and you got to be like, we're all okay. It's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The only
Yeah.
the only people who think that someone drunk is funny is, like, the person who's drunk. Like,
Who's drunk?
it
Totally.
the
Yeah, I seriously could talk to you all day.
I know!
I can't wait for Whiskey Becky. I'm going to bring out Whiskey Eileen, and they're going to
So
play, and we're going to have such a fun, like, happy hour episode. We'll
that's
release it at, like, 4:00 on a Friday.
let's go live.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun.
Listen how dangerous we are. Oh
No
my
net.
let these moms out of the house. It's
Well,
been so
thank you so
fun.
much for being here. It's been so much fun.
Thank you for having
And
me.
oh my gosh, I can't wait to have you back. It's
I
so
know.
great.
It'll be great.
And I'm going to tell everybody about your upcoming shows.
I don't remember where the shows are, but
Okay.
I have a lot of shows in July, which is unusual because it's summer. I will say that I my follower on Instagram gets very lonely. So if anyone wants to follow me on at Becky Veduccio, that would be
Oh,
awesome. The website, I have a comedy coaching business. I do Zoom coaching, comedy. I write jokes with people. I love it. It's called the Joke Fluffer.
I love it.
So that's at BeckyVeduccio.com. Everything's just my name. Just fucking look it up and follow and like and share and whatever you
Share and
know.
enjoy. Yes. Get
Yeah.
your jokes fluffed.
Yeah. Get fluffed.
Get fluffed, man. Get fluffed and come have whiskey with us next
Sure.
time. Thank you again for being here, and I cannot wait for the next time.
Yay. Thank you, Eileen.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and share on social media. Strangers with Kittens contains nothing artificial. It's certified human. Produced by Ashley Aker, music by Chris Hagian, and recorded in front of a live audience of dogs.